So this beautiful location is literally 5 minutes from my home. You just head out, turn around a corner, and you could be hundreds of kilometers from anywhere. Another 10 minutes on, and there is this beautiful little creek that I think I'm going to do my walk in the garden in.
I've walked alone, never seemed to go on, feeling lost and ashamed. I'm in chains, but soon to be wrong.
G'day, I'm Roland Hearn, and this is a walk in the garden. Do you remember those bottle brush trees that Chang and I talked about a couple of weeks ago? This is a really beautiful example. Beautiful Australian flora. And now I'm seeing something that's not quite Australian. Let's see if I can get it on the screen here. Let's see. Well, I don't know how well I'm picking that up, but that is lantana, which is not native to Australia and considered a noxious weed. But because it's introduced and it's taken over and it's everywhere. Of course, there's places in the world where it is considered a very valuable plant because of its beauty. But not here. We don't have much of a good word to say about lantana. That bottle brush is now behind me. It's beautiful, isn't it? There are some that would say that the lantana is equally beautiful. Back when we lived in the States, there was a suburb being created not far from where we live called Lantana Estate, if I remember correctly. And that kind of shocked us because my whole life growing up, I had recognized lantana as that noxious weed that was introduced that everybody hated and wanted to get rid of it. The fact that they were creating an estate named after it just kind of shocked me. It's interesting how our understanding of the value of things and the beauty of things is shaped by the context in which we live. So this idea of beauty and value is very much created by the way that we look at things, the experiences that we have, the way that our lives are shaped. In this little video that I'm doing today, I'm returning to those 5 core principles of love, of communicating love, of creating a loving community that I believe are absolutely essential for that purpose. They are trust, safety, vulnerability, affirmation, and belonging. I have done videos on vulnerability, on trust, and on safety. And I'll put a little link below in the description to those videos. I'll also remind you of what they were called and what episodes they were just across the screen down here. But today I wanted to talk about this idea of affirmation. Affirmation is one of those incredibly important ideas for love to work, and we often don't recognize how important it is. Sometimes people use affirmation in order to manipulate people. They think if they say nice things to people, then they'll win them over and they'll be able to gain that person's attention, gain their support, and gain their dedication or obedience or whatever it is. But affirmation can be seen as something that we use to get other people to do what we want to. That's not, of course, what I'm talking about in any way, shape, or form. The affirmation that is essential to love is the affirmation that comes from seeing the worth of another human being. The underlying process that makes love work is obviously, as we've said many times, the connection between love and worth. And so to be a person that is focused on love is a person that is focused on worth. And this for me is why it is so important to have a clear understanding of who God is, because it is ultimately God that declares the worth of humanity, independent of our opinions or the cultures that have shaped us, or the experiences that influence our perspectives. Once we've established that we believe in God and God is love, we are able to, without any effort, recognize that all people everywhere, regardless of anything that has shaped them, or any way of describing them, or pigeonholing them, or anything else, are valuable. That people in and of themselves are valuable. So what affirmation does is find out how that person to whom I'm talking experiences value, and then communicates to that place in positive terms, so that once I know what it is that triggers your sense of worth and the wonder that you have, because I am committed to loving you, I will make a commitment to affirming that process. Very often, because of our own struggles and our own defense mechanisms, we avoid saying anything that's too affirming or too positive, and we try to act as if it goes without saying, but it doesn't go without saying. To see the worth of the other and to speak to their core identity about that worth in a way that they understanding, that's affirmation. And that is absolutely essential for love to work effectively. It's absolutely essential for creating a loving community. It's absolutely essential for this journey in the garden. Affirmation can be something we can practice. So you look around and you see something that somebody does well, or a comment they make about something that they value, and you begin to focus in on that, and you practice trying to find ways of affirming that person. For different people, it can be different things, but the more we practice, the more adept we get at affirming who they are and seeing what makes them valuable, or what causes them to experience their own value is a much better way of saying that. Seeing that and then speaking to that is an essential part of love. So as we journey in the garden and we want to experience all the garden has for us, we begin to recognize that for love to actually work in my life, I must have this outward look at other people and begin to speak into their life. And do you know what the incredible thing is? As you take that step and begin to affirm that place in people's lives, the vast majority of the time, that turns around and people start doing the same back to us without even knowing it. And so there's this incredible synergy in love, that as I give love and I'm committed to loving others, I receive love in ways that I never anticipated. So let me encourage you this week, as you walk in your garden, find people, find the things that cause them to feel valuable, and speak affirmingly into that place. Try it with your spouse or your friend or your relative. Try it with one person. Just every day, find something that you can affirm about them and do it, and see what happens in 1 week to the dynamics of your relationship. Well, next week, Chang and I'll be together again. Unfortunately, We aren't yet able to make the videoing of the song work for a number of reasons, but we are going to get together and we're going to spend some time talking about some important things. So I'm looking forward to that. I encourage you to join me next week with Chang as we walk in the garden. So let's do that together, shall we? See you then.